Hello, fellow YouTubers, and welcome back to Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Justice for All. On the last episode, we continued our investigation by actually starting to investigate some places. We headed over to the crime scene where we noticed not only was the guitar case empty, but there was water on top of it, but there was a mysterious wine glass on the table where, after a struggle, apparently did not get knocked over at all. Also, we learned that the button missing from his outfit, and there was a knife in his gut. So we kind of figured out how he got murdered, but we headed over to a guard's dressing room where we met up with his manager, Adrian Andrews, who we didn't really learn much about from her. We learned a lot about her from other people, though, such as Old Bag and Lotta Bot, who both, from their previous Psyche locks, we were able to break both of them, and learned that Adrian Andrews apparently was involved with Corrida in a term of, like a relationship, but it's all rumors at the moment because it's all from tabloids. But when we headed over to the police station, Gumshoe was like, yeah, that's kind of how things went as well. Also, her manager, or her mentor and Corrida's old manager, Celestin Pax, committed suicide 2 years ago. So things are starting to get a little bit weird. Francisca showed up because she didn't like Gumshoe giving us all this information and started to fire him, but then all of a sudden, Edgeworth popped out of nowhere. Literally back from the dead, apparently. So, on this episode, I think we're going to be finishing off the investigation for today. And hopefully we get a lot, because we need whatever we can get for tomorrow's trial. So, let's start by talking with good old Miles Edgeworth. I can't imagine what the topics are, what the topic titles are going to be. Tomorrow's trial, proof of Von Karma blood. I had to start with this. I thought you, the prosecutor Miles Edgeworth, had gone and died. Mr. Nick! I never wanted to see you again. Look at Edgeworth just smirking. I think that's enough of a warm welcome for someone you haven't seen in a year. Are you going to run tomorrow's trial? You heard her, right? That wild mare hasn't given in yet, it seems. So, no, I don't think I'll be making an appearance. Like now? Your hatred for me is quite unhealthy, not to mention one-sided. But I will say one thing. You can't win on your own at the trial tomorrow. What is that supposed to mean? I have something definitive that you lack. And working together is the definition of teamwork. It's the power to find the truth. You sound a lot different than you did last game, Edgeworth. The truth. In order to understand this case, you have to understand a certain truth. Well, if you ever feel the need for my assistance, it is available to you. I'm not in charge of this case, so I can be a bit more generous with information. Just what is going on inside his head? Yeah, he's acting a lot different than he did the year before. He's being helpful. Proof of Von Karma blood. A lot of things may have happened. However, Manfred Von Karma was still my mentor. And a perfect win record is proof of a Von Karma. 1 year ago, you could not establish guilt in a few cases. Are those losses the reason you suddenly disappeared from the prosecutor's office? Did you leave because you had lost your perfect win record? To think your motivation for prosecuting trials was so selfish. It'd be better for everyone if you never came back from the dead, Edgeworth. Jeez, Phoenix! I see. Then let me ask you something. Why do you stand in the courtroom? What is your reason? Why stand in court? I mean, yeah. We heard, I mean, there was like the falsified autopsy report or updated autopsy report situations that Edgeworth found himself in. But I mean, didn't he help a little bit in case 1-3 with D. Vasquez? Not to mention we defended him in 1-4, and he wasn't really that bad in 1-5. He was only really terrible in 1-2. And why, Phoenix? Why do you stand in court, huh? Because of him, huh? Well, Francisca, she's almost always says, I will defeat you this time, the instant she sees me. Why is it about karma? But the courtroom is not a personal battlefield for prosecutors and lawyers. I stand in the courtroom to defend my client. To save their lives. To save your client, you say. Those who think only of their own ego-driven goals, those kind of prosecutors are reprehensible to me. Even if you're a prodigy. Hey, I said it right this time. Or someone like you, Edgeworth. It looks like there's still a lot you have yet to learn. A lot I have yet to learn? Me? Well, that's enough for now. The time when you will see is coming soon enough. Very, very ominous. But it has more information to give for us. Like, for example, this mysterious person. Celeste Impacts. This woman is another key to solving this case. Do you really think so? She was Adrian Andrews' mentor a long time ago. But she was suddenly called away by a different show and became Juan Corda's manager. And then, a few months later, Celeste Impacts died. But her death was ruled a suicide, right? Yes. But there is still one riddle we've yet to solve. There is still one riddle we've yet to solve! Jesus, these spelling errors. A riddle? Her suicide note. It went missing. No one could find it. A suicide note that just vanished, huh? Well, now we got some more things to talk about other than you. Miss Impact's death was most certainly a suicide, and of that there is no mistake. However, we could not find her suicide note. That's when the police began to suspect that someone had hidden it. A suicide note? But how do you know Miss Impaxi had even written such a note? There was no solid evidence. However, we did find traces of ink on her right index finger, which makes the likelihood of a suicide note very high. But who would hide such a thing? The police think it was Mr. Juan Corda himself. The victim? Oh, here's that image we saw. Hey, look, there's a note on the table. He was the one who found her body. Which makes him the only person who had a chance to hide her suicide note. Mr. Corda hid his own manager's suicide note? But why? As long as the note is missing, any speculation beyond this is meaningless. For now, I think you should look this over. This is the suicide report. Part 1, anyway. Part 1? Was her suicide note hidden? Let's take a look at that record. That's it? That's it? All right, how about part 2? Which, if we want to get part 2, I think we just present part 1. I don't like to look through reports. I like suicide reports even less. Worst of all are the reports that have multiple parts, like that one. That has 2. 2 parts? What you just handed me is the first part of the report. Here's the second part. Why not give me both, Edgeworth? The second part of the report is about an attempted suicide. And the attempter's name. It's Adrian Andrews. Ooh, dark stuff! Miss Andrews? What did she do? She tried to kill herself? She doesn't seem like the kind of person who'd try to kill herself, though. You never know, Phoenix. You think she's a strong career woman? That's just what she wants you to think. Well, it's with a scowl, Edgeworth. Adrian Andrews. She has a certain secret she's always trying to hide. A secret? Her dependent nature. That's what she's really like on the inside. Miss Andrews? Dependent? Talking about the exact opposite of what that woman is. What do you mean, that woman? Speaking of which, oh wait, hold on. No. Wait, really? Oh, there it is at the very top. What's this about Miss Andrews having a dependent nature? Adrian Andrews' attempt at suicide was a few days after the death of Celeste Impacts. And why did Adrian Andrews think about committing suicide? Because she had apparently lost her will to live. Lost her will? But why would she? Her pillar of strength, her mentor Celeste Impacts, was gone forever. That's why. Why would that? Is this what they call following someone to the grave? Oh, don't play sad music now, especially with Pearl on screen. Especially don't cut from a suicide image to Pearl. That's just wrong. After her attempted suicide, Adrian Andrews started attending counseling sessions. She is someone who needs a person in whom she can trust absolutely. And once she finds that person, she'll do anything she can to keep them near. Without such an anchor in her life, her crippling anxiety stifles her ability to live. And that's the nature of her dependency on others? When Celeste Impact suddenly committed suicide, the world before her turned pitch dark. That's according to Adrian Andrews herself. Then, that means her super confident attitude. It's all a facade. She's only copying her mentor's behavior to hold herself together. How terrible. And now we got the attempted suicide report, which I don't know if that replaced the old one or if it added. Okay, it added to it, or it's a completely different one. Ooh. Okay, well, that's not good either. But thank you, Edgeworth. Phoenix is currently not happy with you, but I mean, despite that, thanks for the information. I mean, I don't know why he's not that happy. I mean, yeah, he kind of looked like he committed suicide by leaving the notes that Miles Edgeworth chooses death, and it has been a year since they've seen each other, but, I mean, before that, when was the last time? You hadn't seen him in like 15 years before this, Phoenix. Before spending 4 court cases together. Not to mention, he seems to be better than he was a year ago. Remember how depressing he was talking about in, all the depressing stuff he was talking about in 1.5? Jesus. All right, well, we're done. We're done here. Let's move. We're going to, well, You have some more information about someone. Not you! Not you either. And definitely not you. But go away. Oh, Miss Andrews is here. But it looks like she's talking with someone. That's Francisca von Karma. Miss von Karma? What are you doing here? Well, you see, I'm his lawyer, so you've got some nerve following me around. I didn't even know you were here. Following you? That's you, Miss Von Karma. You're the one doing the following. Pearls? You're always following after that Mr. Detective with the little beard. Me? Following after Scruffy? Don't make me laugh. Let me show you something interesting, little girl. Ugh. What a weird thing to put at the end of the sentence. At least you're not calling her something terrible. What is that? An electromagnetic receiver. I planted a tracking device on that detective. And with this, I know that fool's every move. So that noise you heard was his receiver. So every single time that we've heard a beep, it's because she's holding this and it's getting closer and closer. I feel really sorry for poor Detective Gumshoe now. He's gonna be panicking every single time he hears a beep from now on. Now then, let's stop wasting time. Adrian Andrews. Oh, this is gonna be fun. They both have the same voice from me. Yes? Think hard about what we just discussed. Understood? Did she just whip her? All right. What were those two talking about? Miss Andrews. She seems a little dazed, doesn't she? Oh, I think Von Karma just left. It didn't show her leaving, but I think we're gonna be talking with her a little bit. We know a lot more about you now than we did the last time we talked, like your relationship with Juan Corrida. Did you know the victim, Mr. Corrida? Yes, I knew him. The world is such a small place, after all. Did you know about his rivalry with the Nickel Samurai? Honestly, they were like children when it came to that. Time and time again, those two competed with each other over the most trivial things. If either one of them wasn't so stubborn, then maybe no one would have needed to die. I've got a hunch that this woman knows more than she's letting on. She must know why Juan Corrida was killed. I mean, technically, we could have done this last episode, but now we know way more about her. It feels better now, especially with motive for murder. Do you have any ideas as to why Mr. Corrida was murdered? Why would you ask me about such a thing? I'm just doing my job. So do you have any ideas? Miss Andrews? Sorry, but there's nothing more I have to add to this conversation. Is it a psyche lock, Mr. Nick? Yes. There's getting to be more and more of these lately. And this is another reason why we didn't mention this, is because there's a psyche lock blocking it. However, after everything we've talked about from other people, we now can clear this. So, look at the shiny toy, Adrian. Motive for murder. Why was Juan Corda murdered? If you ask me, I think you know the reason he was killed. Why are you hiding things? Don't you realize you're putting Mr. Engart's life in danger by your actions? Why do you ask questions for which I have no answers? The truth is, I was not that close to Mr. Corda. You were not that close? That's right. I've never been good at being intimate with another person. You're not good at being intimate with another person? Somehow I highly doubt that. I mean, the tabloids never lie, right? Right? You and Mr. Corda had an intimate relationship, did you not? A silly third-rate tabloid article. If you even had half your wits about you, you wouldn't believe such rubbish. Well, it seems quite a few people have already bought into this story. As to be expected in a world filled with crooks and liars. Note to self. Stay on our good side. Oh, in any case, I despise interpersonal relationships like that. I see. However, what if there was a need for you to get close to someone? Me? Need to get close to Mr. Corda? As if there was ever such a need. Didn't you get close to Mr. Corda for this person's sake? And because it's a person, obviously it's a person. And there's one person that everyone's linked to. Celeste Impacts, your mentor. How do you know about Celeste? Miss Impacts. She committed suicide, didn't she? But it looks like no one knows why. Ooh, that's a new facial expression. Right before her death, she was Juan Corda's manager. So I believe you got close to Mr. Corda, so you could find out more about her suicide. You have a great imagination. You may have a future yet as a slimy muckracker for a putrid third-rate tabloid. That's a muckraker. Racker. Miss Andrews? There was no mystery surrounding her death. None. It would be pointless for me to force myself into a relationship for nothing. Is it really true? Was there really no mystery at all? I don't believe you were completely at ease with the way her suicide was resolved. Because, I mean, there was no suicide note. Why? Miss Impact's suicide note was never found, was it? It looks like the police were under the suspicion that someone had hidden it. Like maybe the person who discovered her body, Mr. Corda. Juan? And Miss Andrews, I believe you thought the same thing. That is why you became intimate with Mr. Corda. I've sat by quietly and listened to your insulting ramblings long enough. It's true that Celeste was my mentor. However, allow me to say this again. It had nothing to do with me. I didn't even know what her suicide note... I didn't even know that her suicide note was never found. I'm a person who doesn't care about what goes on in the lives of others. That's the impression you like to give. However, I don't think that's who you really are. What? I have evidence that says otherwise. This is proof that Celeste Impacts was someone very special to you. And, let's bring up bad memories. Miss Andrews, you nearly went through with it too, didn't you? Went through with what? Ending your life. Miss Andrews, you look and act like a very strong woman who has it all together. You don't ask for anyone's help, relying only on yourself. Yes, I've been very independent ever since I can remember. However, that is all just a lie. A facade. Oh, Phoenix learning words from Edgeworth. You've always searched out people on whom you can depend on. That's... You were dependent on Miss Impacts, weren't you? Which is why... when she passed away, you lost everything you had. Stop! When Celeste passed away so suddenly like that, I died a death of my own. But, no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't stop thinking about what had become of her note. You must have heard about the police report. The one that said the police suspected Mr. Korda of hiding Miss Impact's note. You heard about it and thought to recover from him by getting close. Am I right? If that's the case, then everything changes. What do you mean? What topic did we start this conversation on again? It was, why was the victim killed? Exactly. Somehow, Miss Andrews, it seems that you have become the one with the reason to want Mr. Korda dead. Me? Miss Impacts was everything to you. And then she died. And you would do anything to find out why she killed herself. Even commit murder. Murder? That last unlock did not help your case, Adrian. It's true. I am a woman who can only live in insecurity. Jesus. Ugh. I'm physically small, and I don't really have a lot of self-confidence. I've pushed against all that, though. I've tried to live strongly. I never wanted anyone to find out the truth. Oh, don't play a sad version of the Steel Samurai theme song! Is this the first time this song is played? I thought, after I said that, I was like, wait, didn't this play in 1-3? But I don't remember anymore. I just remembered, isn't there a sad version of this song? And now, yeah, that's right here. Miss Andrews. Oh God, Pearl's been here the whole time. Oh no, Pearl, we're ruining your innocent soul. I'm so sorry. This one thing. It's the one thing I wanted to take with me to the grave. It was my secret. Mine and mine alone. I'm sorry. You probably think I'm a worthless human being right now, don't you? Please, Miss Andrews. All I want to know is the truth. After Celeste passed away, I heard that someone had hidden her suicide note. And that someone was Juan Korda. Celeste. Without her, I became scared. Everything. Everyone seemed like they were out to get me. So you got close to Mr. Korda to recover her suicide note, correct? that that tablet reported the truth after all. Ironic, isn't it? Well, like they say, where there's smoke, there's fire. And if they purposely add fuel to the fire, they keep the celebrity world burning. But as for the suicide note, I didn't and wouldn't kill anyone for it. It just doesn't suit me, that's all. Well, that's enough for now. I still have work to do, so... I understand. Oh, I have one small favor to ask. My attempted suicide. I'd like for you to keep it a secret. Miss Andrews. If people found out about my weakness, I would sooner choose to die than live. All right, I understand. We'll keep it a secret. Miss Andrews. I guess she's the overthinking type. She probably never says anything without carefully thinking it through first. Thank you for your discretion. Mr. Nick, can I ask you something? What is it? Miss Andrews has been playing with that card in her hand since a little while back. A card? Yeah, I guess she has. Miss Andrews, what is that card you're holding? Huh? Oh, this? I don't quite know. It just suddenly appeared in my handbag. What is it? It looks like a seashell? That's what it looks like, doesn't it? I honestly don't remember owning this card. I wonder where I picked it up from. We're not remembering something clearly. Sounds like it would be a rare occurrence. Well, I must be off. I'll leave Mr. Engard in your capable hands. And Andrews is gone. That was a very uncomfortable situation. But we're gonna keep it. Oh, never mind. Hold on. Lada's gone. Oh, please don't. She was in this hallway. Don't do that. Well, I think we've gathered about all we can. What about Mystic Maya? Is she all right? Oh, Pearls. She looks so worn out by all this. She hasn't slept at all, and she has been walking all over the place with me today. What's wrong, Mr. Nick? Let's go back to the office for a little while. You're really tired, right? Oh, no. I'm okay. Really. I'm fine. I really am. You don't look fine to me. Yeah. Well, thank God it wasn't Lada doing something like overhearing that conversation. Let's go back. Let's go all the way back to our office. Despite what Pearl said, let's take a small break. Not really, though. The episode's almost over. We need to finish it first. So, what now? Well, we did find one thing out for sure. Miss Andrews has a motive. You mean Miss Impact's suicide note? That's right. She was also the one to discover the victim's body. Clever. Ah! Mr. Nick! The transceiver! Hello? Wright and Company, all offices. Mr. Attorney, you're not answering a phone. Maya! Where's Maya? As I promised, I have not gone within a few feet of her this whole time. Which is why I suppose he's absolutely famished. What? So I suggest you win a quick acquittal, my friend. At any cost. Wouldn't you agree? Oh, wait! Maya! Let me hear her! Very well. Ask Maya! Oh, Maya! Is that you? Sis! Ask my sis! Maya! Maya! Ugh. He cut me off. I think Maya said, ask my sis, didn't she? Sis? What does she mean by that? Phoenix, please. Oh, thank you! Come on, Phoenix. Sigh, you're a hopeless one. Sorry. Ah! Mia! I have a message from Maya, so come, ask me anything you want about her. Hi, Mia. Oh yeah, this is perfect. We have like a secret radio. They're Mia, a ghost. All right, let's talk. Maya situation, the kidnapper. How's Maya? She's safe, for now. That kidnapper is one to keep his word, it seems. Glad to hear she's safe. But Mia, how did you know? As soon as she was locked up, Maya called for me. I read the note she left. Then I gathered as much information about her surroundings as I could. I didn't know you could use spirit channeling like that. Pretty smart of her. It was very smart. Leaving the note is a good touch. The kidnapper! What's he like? I don't know. Apparently, Maya went to answer a phone call at the hotel and was drugged there. And? She didn't see the face of her attacker. Ugh. Maya is locked up in a very dark place right now. I'll tell you everything I heard when I was with her. When you were with her? Date unknown, time unknown, location unknown. I'm starving. I could really go for some apple pie. I mean, at a time like this, sweets are the only way to go. I have to stay positive. He promised he wasn't going to kill me. I'm not going to die. Sis, I wonder if you're with Nick right now. And this is a first for Phoenix Wright. This is the first time we control someone that isn't Phoenix Wright, as we're actually playing as Maya right now. So we can examine some stuff. We can also, I mean, technically we can move, which is weird. If I don't do something to the door first, I don't think I'll be moving anywhere. There's not really much we can examine in here either. I mean, there's a bunch of... What's this? Feels like there are a lot of glass bottles here. And these... They feel like barrels. I'll pass. I'm not really hungry. And not really thirsty. Really? I bet that would help. Let all those bottles of grape and orange juice. And these barrels of grape and orange juice. How about this thing on the floor? Huh? Someone dropped a card here. It kind of looks like a business card. But there's no name on it. It's a picture of a seashell, I think. What a strange card. Yeah, it is. Oh, there's another bottle of orange. That says pretzel. There's all sorts of things piled up here, but it's too dark to see. Is that light not enough? I guess that light is just like to help us look. Drat, it's locked. But this door's lock seems easy enough to open. On TV, the hero always uses a plastic card or a stiff piece of cardboard. Then click, they magically open the door. I wonder if there's a card like that around here I could use. Ah! That's it! This shell card. If I use this, maybe I can get the door open. This might be my key out of here. I had a feeling this card might be useful. I'm such a genius. Oh, good job, Maya. All right, now if you'll excuse me, Mr. Kidnapper. I did it! Okay, now I'm getting the heck out of here. Thank you, Maya, for censoring. Also, the door thing worked. I shouldn't keep Nick waiting. We're worried. No, don't be continued there. Well, that's the end of the investigation. What a cliffhanger for Maya's sake. So, yeah. That's going to do it for this episode. We talked with Edgeworth. He gave us a little bit more information about Celeste's impacts and her impact on Adrian Andrews. We went and talked with Adrian Andrews and broke through a Magatama section where got really dark. But we kind of have a motive for her now. But she did tell us not to mention it, which might be very hard if we have to nail someone with this crime tomorrow. And Mia's around and acting as like a courier for information about Maya, who apparently is on the way out. So, things are looking better. Not great, because she's still technically kidnapped, but she unlocked the door, so that's a start. So, that's going to do it for this episode. On the next episode of Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Justice for All, we're heading to the trial, where we need to get an acquittal from Matt Engard. Otherwise, let's not think about what happened otherwise. So, until next time, hopefully you enjoy.